Hey guys, it's me, Elizabeth, here with another video today. So today we're going to be talking about the best souls to invest in for different areas of content such as PvE, um, our different guild raid bosses such as Gaia, Cherry, and Rudra. But before we get into it, I would like to credit one of my guild managers, Jade, for sharing this in our Discord, and Pryden for creating this tier list. So let's get right into it. So we're starting off with PvE endgame, and this is basically talking about like origin units with legendary plus or more artifacts or whatever. And so we have our SSS tier for PvE endgame, and we have Honglan, Adrienne, Talia, and Aki for the SSS tier, the best tier for PvE endgame. And then we have for our SS tier, the next best tier, we have Naya, Lizala, Valana, Catherine, Chloe, and Vivian. Now I can totally see why we have Hongman, Adrienne, Talia, and Aki as SSS tier. As recently stated on my channel before, Honglan is a speed manipulation queen. She has an AoE freeze um, move, and she also decreases mana, and she stuns as well. And her passive also decreases the speed and evasion of all enemies while she's on the battlefield. So Honglan is pretty much, she's been meta for a very long time now, and you practically use her anywhere. And then we have Adrienne. She's a really amazing tank when she's actually built up. She can stun a single target, do damage while simultaneously healing her allies' HP, including her own, and she also pulls the farthest enemy from her to her, and that's good for attacking the backliners who'd be doing like a lot of damage. And she also provides a protective shield, and she applies that to herself and to allies within a 2.5-meter range. So Adrienne is a really amazing tank to invest in, but obviously she's an angel type soul, and angels and demons are equally hard to or more rare to acquire if there's not a raid up banner. And then we have our fairy soul, Talia. Talia is one of the best supports in the game in my opinion. She's carried me from early game to mid game, and now I'm on chapter 19 and I'm still using her in every single one of my team comps. Talia is just amazing. Just by being on the battlefield, her passive actually gives a attack and defense buff to all of her allies. So I think that's amazing. She heals, she restores mana, and she cleanses a single debuff on all allies. And she also provides a shield for an ally who has the lowest HP. So I think Talia just overall does a bunch of stuff. She's like multiple different supports combined into one, and that's awesome. And then we have my beloved Aki. We love Aki. Of course, Aki is gonna be in the SSS tier for PvE endgame. She has become my hybrid carry ever since I pulled 300 summons on her. Um, she's just insane. That's why it's really important to build her up with crit rate and whatnot, because if you do that, then boom, she crits, she does twice the damage, and that main ult, main skill combo is just insane. She is like, on my team, she's constantly getting pentakills. And so then we have, I was actually surprised by some of the PvE endgames. On the next tier, we have Naya, which I wasn't really expecting that because I feel like Naya for me was really only helpful um, early game, and then towards end game, mid to end game, I kind of stopped using her because I had more better souls that I could invest in that would be more helpful to me. But obviously, Lizelot, I can see why she would be in the next tier. Lizelot is amazing. Personally, I don't really use her in anything PvE. I only use her in guild-related stuff because she is a guild raid beast. But yeah, I can see why people would say Lizelot deserves to be in the SS tier because her insane damage, her guaranteed crit hits, it's just all about that crit damage on her. And then Villana, I'm actually surprised with Villana being rated so high for PvE late game. It's not the first time I heard that before. I've heard some people say how she's really good end game. I can't really say much about it since I haven't really used her anywhere. I don't really have her built up. I didn't pull for her banner at all. She's just legendary plus right now, I believe. And but let me know down below if you actually use Valana in your endgame team comps and if she actually works out for you. And then Catherine, she is by far hands down a really amazing support, providing shield, immunity, and whatnot. And then Chloe, a really good tank that I'm sure a lot of people use. I still use her as well. And then we have Vivian, she's a really good DPS. So here we have our Gaia boss. Gaia is that fairy boss that when you burn them, I believe it decreases their physical or magical resistance. I don't know, it's been a long time. But Gaia is that tree raid boss that we all know and love. So for SSS tier, we have as our first soul Violet. Of course, Violet is literally next to Lizelot from being the queen of guild raids. Violet does a lot of damage on the undead team because the undead type souls, there are a lot of souls who place many debuffs, and Violet needs those debuffs in order to do a lot of damage. And then actually Lizelot is the opposite of Violet. Lizelot needs buffs on herself to do a lot of damage. And then Aki, of course, she's amazing in all the other guild raids as well, besides Ruthra, considering Ruthra's passive of decreasing his chance to get hit by a critical hit. And then we have Cherry, a very unexpected soul in the SSS tier, but that is because she can place a burn down on Gaia. Now, I actually didn't have Cherry when I was going against this boss until um because while Gaia was going on, they had the wedding event, so I didn't have my first Cherry until I'd done the wedding event and got her copy from there. So I was using Rose instead, but Cherry is by far 10 times better than Rose because Cherry places that burning debuff. And then after she places that burning debuff, you and your DPS souls, your main damage dealers, can just go right at it. So next on our SS tier for Gaia, we have Talia, Miriam, Haru, Nini, Ira, Ayame, Homan, and Catherine. I tried to squeeze them all on that bottom row, so sorry if it looks a little bit uneven. Talia, of course, is there to be a buffer, cleanser, and whatnot. Um, Nini is a very, she is a soul that I'm actually going to talk about right now because for me, Nini was a really big help in the undead team because Nini burns, and that is exactly what I needed. And I know there are many people who made Nini or Cherry fodder. I'm guilty of both, but I ended up stop making my Nini fodder because I realized, you know what, Nini doesn't deserve this. So then when Gaia came around, I actually ended up making Nini Origin 1, and let me tell you, she did amazing. Next, for the guild raid boss, we have Chairite, and of course, we see very recognizable faces. We see in our SSS tier, we see Violet, Lizelot, and Aki. I feel like they're going to be on every single SSS tier for the guild raid bosses because they are just owning up the guild raids lately. So if you guys don't remember, Chairite is that one guild raid boss who looks like a whale, flies up into the air. Yeah, I know it has been a very long time since we last attacked Chairite in the guild raid boss, but for the SSS tier, we have the souls Violet, Lizelot, Aki, Petra, Catherine, and Suni. I was actually very surprised about Suni because I personally have not used Suni in Chairite. So someone, if you guys have used Suni down below, let me know how well she works in this boss because I have no idea. And should I invest in her? tier list says yes, but I want to hear from you guys. So I know Petra is a must need for this guild raid boss. If you guys, um, if some of you guys have played a while in the beginning of guild raid boss when chair raid first came out, remember that Petra strategy where we had like a bunch of um, we put her in the uh, what was it? Was it I don't know, it was the formation where there was one soul up in the front and then four in the back. And we would put Petra in the front and then four undead fodder in the back, and then Petra would just completely solo the boss. Um, Obviously, I know they changed the boss, so we can't really do that with Petra now, but Petra still remains an amazing tank in this guild raid boss. So now we have our Ruthra Gilraid boss, and in our SSS tier, we have familiar faces once again. We have Lizelot, Violet. Of course, Aki is not here because, as stated before, Aki is really dependent on her crit rate, her crit hits and whatnot. That's literally like all her skill is all about. But obviously, Ruther being an undead boss, as well as having that annoying passive, sadly we could not use Aki in this guild ratio, so she is not in this tier list. But one of our, we still have Lisla and Violet in the SSS tier. We also have Miriam, Ira, Arusha, and Renee. And I know what you guys are thinking. Arusha? Renee? You know, those two souls are probably ones that many people make fodder from. But let me tell you, those stuns are very helpful. Like literally, Arusha really carried my guild raid team for undead. Like those stuns, let me tell you, you guys really can't. It's like you really can't make any epic fodder in this game because at one point they're all going to become useful, and that is what I learned the hard way. But you know, I stopped doing that. So now I can't use Renee or Arusha as fodder anymore. Anyways, continuing on our SS tier, we have Haru, also a beast stunner. We have Garnet, a debuffer on undead souls. Nini, of course, Valana for stuns. Vivian, Prim, and Erica. Prim and Erica are there because they have really helped a lot with cleansing the teams. I'm surprised Talia is not here though, because Talia, she really also helped with the cleansing. She carried my team as well. Like without her cleansing, I don't know if we would get the damage that we got. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this tier list. I basically just looked at the one from Priden and made these little small infographics about it, but I will be linking down the Priden tier list blog down below. So if you want to check it out and go into depth into more of the SSS tier, SS tier, the S, A, B, C, D tier, whatever, you guys can look at it on your own. Thank you so much for watching once again. I appreciate all you guys for just keeping up and tuning into my new content. I'll be trying to post daily every single day, so make sure to not make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Okay, I'm trying to post daily content nowadays, so it really mean a lot to me if you subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.